live on YouTube. It is late Wednesday afternoon. Today is June 8th. And I want to talk to you about what's going on in California related to the water limitations. Now, I made a video recently about what's going on in California and how the exact wrong thing to do in a drought is what California is doing. I have a video all about the hydrologic cycle. In fact, I think I will rename it all about the hydrologic cycle so that those of you that are interested, and you may already know how that works. We actually need more moisture in the air during times of drought. And I've explained the science, yes, the science behind that previously. Today, I want to show you something about the politics, what is going on in California, a rather devious approach that they are taking in the greater Los Angeles area. And I want to also bring to you a word of warning because California is telling the farmers to stop diverting water to actually irrigate their crops. So because of that, I am going to highlight my sponsor today, which is all about being prepared for food and water. So let me take you just for a moment right on over. We're going to share my screen and then we'll get right back into the video. So you know this company. This is My Patriot Supply, and the website is preparewithpeggy.com, and you can get special pricing on the food kits. I actually have this. Everyone in my family has one of these grab and go buckets, and you get over 2,000 calories per day. In fact, I want to bring you the exact message from the sponsor. So let me just make sure I let you know that temperatures are not the only thing rising. Gasoline prices, food prices, tensions throughout society, global conflicts, supply chain breakdowns, you name it. So what should you do? I want you to go to preparewithpeggy.com. This is what I use. You can get your long-term emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply while the supplies last. And this is not the kind of food that I eat on a daily basis, but it is basically my food insurance. So if you know what hits the fan, I can live for another month or so, depending on what's going on. So I hope that you are going to be prepared as well. The food lasts for up to 25 years in storage. When you need it, it's going to be there. You can act quickly and save $150 on a 3-month emergency food kit with your breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, snacks, and you won't go hungry when you have this emergency food. And you know, and I know that that is what the evildoers and the hogwashers are trying to do, is to have all of the attacks on every angle. We've seen all of the fires. I'm going to be covering that again in terms of not just the structure fires of homes, but all of these food manufacturing plants. It's difficult to keep up. There have been dozens and dozens and dozens. And I did a video on that about a month ago, and I will be bringing you the update. But let me share with you what I found when I went on the Twitter account of you know who, the California Department of Public Health. I'm looking at my newsfeed right now. So let me bring you over there, and I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you live in California, if you are being affected by this, and you are not going to believe what they are going to do for people living in the greater Los Angeles area. I am on the news and updates for California for cooties. And what I thought was so interesting is that on this page from the California Department of Public Health, they're giving us all of their hogwash, of course. And then I thought it was so interesting. Oh, yeah, it's always a good idea. Absolutely. Because the case numbers are increasing, when you cover yourself and suffocate, it's a great idea because it works. That's why we need to keep doing it. And that's why everybody did it for these last couple of years. So it's working. So keep doing it. I hope you guys understand my humor. What I wanted to show you, these pictures are so disagreeable to me. This is what's interesting to me. An article in the LA Times, a Southern California water district has found a creative solution to reduce water flow to customers who refuse to follow the new water restrictions. Do you see the symbolism here? You guys see the symbolism. You know what that is. And if you are new to this type of New World Disorder symbolism and some other words that I can't say on this platform, in the description or in the comments, please let others know what this symbolism means. It's the one eye symbolism. Any image could have been used for this story. They could have done it differently, but of course they chose the one eye symbolism because they want to control you, and they definitely want to control your water. So I clicked through, and we'll take a look now, shall we? Hopefully it is still going to give this to me, not behind a paywall. And it says, think you can cheat water restrictions? That's pretty funny. And then there's the Ocean Conservancy ad right above it. In Southern California, there is a whole agenda going on calling it the fragile ocean. The ocean is so fragile. Now, I've been an ocean swimmer my entire life. I'm a surfer. I've done long distance ocean swims. And let me just tell you, the ocean is not fragile. I'm fragile when I'm in the ocean with these giant waves, but they're trying to inculcate this idea that this gigantic ocean somehow is, and I'm not saying there's not pollution and stuff, don't get me wrong, but the ocean is not fragile. All right. That's another type of hogwashing that's going on. I am digressing. Let's get back to this water topic. Think you can cheat? See how they're using the word cheat. All right. It's mind manipulation at its worst. Think you can cheat water restrictions, you cheater? This tiny disc will tame the thirstiest water hogs. Oh yes, you're a water hog for wanting to water your garden, for wanting to eat the food that you're growing, for wanting to keep. If we have a fire danger and we have a drought conditions, the atmosphere needs more water. We should be having more water on our gardens and plants. I've talked about this before. I would love to entertain any of your perspectives if you have not been up to date on this. It's extremely important that we keep the water flowing. So here's our one-eyed symbolism, and that probably also is the 666. Oh, I don't want to do it. You guys are going to say I'm doing the 666. That also looks like the 666 to me, right? Because then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, and there's so much I could read into this. All right. Kayson Gilmer. Very interesting name. Yes, I'm sure that that's his real name and it's a real person. I wouldn't think that put it past the hogwashers to create a new identity for someone. Very interesting. He is a senior field customer service representative for the Los Virgenes Municipal Water District in Los Angeles. This is a water flow restrictor that he designed. It's only the size of a silver dollar, but this tiny metal disc can tame even the biggest of Southern California water hogs. All right, I take umbrage at that. I'm going to be offended. I'm going to be offended that they're calling me and others hogs. Are they listening to my videos? Are they calling us hogs because I use the phrase hog washers? Maybe they are, I don't know. In an indication of just how dire drought conditions have become, the Municipal Water District has unveiled a custom-built device that will drastically reduce water flow to customers who refuse to abide by the newly enacted water restrictions. They're going to be shutting off your water. Now, I lived in Morocco for several years, and in the morning, I would fill up buckets and tubs and everything to sink with water because they always turned off the water. But that's because I lived in Morocco. This is the United States of America. Water never runs out. There is water, deep water under the earth we have access to. I've talked about this at length, my friends. Designed to be installed at the main shutoff valve of a home or business, the small metal washer, blah, 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 blah. When fixed in place, the device slashes water flow from 30 gallons per minute to less than 1 gallon per minute. Well, let's say that there was a fire in your house and you needed to turn something on and get the buckets full, and it's going to be drip, drip, drip into your bucket. How do you like them apples? Them are pretty rotten apples. So now you're not going to be able to grow your food, to water your pets, to keep your landscaping going, or maybe take a bath or cook or drink. So do you have enough water? Are you prepared? Maybe some of you have your own well, you have your own access to water. Showers may become unsatisfactory for those accustomed to high water pressures, and lawn sprinklers become effectively non-functional, and that's exactly the point. Welcome to the USSR, which doesn't even exist anymore. It exists here in the United States of Communist California. How do you like how I describe that? So it goes on, and you are going to be fined if you try to remove that. I just don't even know what to say about this. Did you know about this? This water district serves about 75,000 residents, including where one of my family members lives, and that's how I found out about it. It says that the officials say that the water supply is dangerously low after the state's driest ever start to the year. This is pretty interesting. Calabasas is where all of the celebrities live outside of California. So the other thing that I saw Okay, it is going to be a hard pill for some to swallow, yes, because they're not swallowing the red pill, right? They're not red pilled. The staff recommends that residents water their lawns 1 day a week. What about their gardens? What about the food? And then here are some other related stories. The flow restrictions may be implemented for customers who have not reduced their water usage from December 2021 and have exceeded 150% of their monthly water budget. You know, if you live in California, that the water district already says how much water you can use. And they estimate it depending on how many people live there. And then it says the amount of irrigated land. Somewhere else I read about the actual property that you have as well. The first installation would leave the flow restrictor in place for at least 2 weeks and up to a month. Any future installations would stay in place progressively longer. I don't even know what to say. This is absolutely ridiculous. Now, you may have a different perspective. You may say, Peggy, people need to stop wasting water, and this is a good way. Otherwise, we're going to run out of water. I want your opinion because I have a different opinion. There's plenty of water. We need more water in a time of drought. And I just find this excessive. Then I found out that California is also, let me stop share. And then I found out that California has just, here comes another news story. And here's what they told farmers. So California, this is from the Sacramento Bee, not the Babylon Bee, which probably is more up to date than this paper. The Sacramento Bee says, California tells San Francisco and Valley farmers to halt water diversions as drought worsens. So I see this as an attack, not just on the water, but on the food and on our freedom, on our own freedom of choice. Now, if I want to use more water and they're going to increase my rate and they're going to charge me for the amount of water I use, fantastic. That's like me going to a restaurant and I have the right to order as much food as I want to, even if it's more food than I could eat. I have the right to do so and I will pay for that. And I may take that home and I may use it. I may eat it later. That's what's going to come next, friends. You are going to be limited by the amount of groceries you can buy, by the amount of food that you can buy, by the amount of meals that you can buy in a restaurant. And they probably are going to restrict it based on your own caloric needs. All of that is coming. Mark my words. State regulators have ordered the city of San Francisco and scores of San Joaquin Valley farmers. We are that's really the agricultural center of California. So the San Joaquin Valley farmers to stop pulling water from valley rivers. So basically, they're not going to be able to water their crops. This order doesn't mean that taps will go dry in San Francisco. Water already held in storage, I don't even want to see that heinous ad above there, isn't effective. And the reservoirs controlled by the city have relatively strong supplies. Oh, only the farmers have to curtail their water, not all of the hoity-toities living in San Francisco. So as you can see, this is quite disturbing to me. I want to take a look at some of your comments here. What say you, my friends? And let me pull that up. Great to have you this afternoon. Michael says, is beer cheaper than water? All right. Yes. When I drove up to Northern California, Central California, Northern California, I saw so many signs by farmers and ranchers that are talking about this issue about the limiting of water. And it is absolutely heinous. California should be and has the capacity, literally, of like feeding the world. So I see this through a critical view. I look at this and I dig deeper, and I'm seeing that the food prices are going to rise, the water prices are going to rise. Where I live, the water is so expensive. And that's another way of reducing your capacity. So we're living in 2022, my friends. Maybe 20, 30, 40, even 10 years ago, as I say, 10, 20, 30 years ago, maybe they didn't have the capacity to store the water, to deliver the water. In 2022, with AI and technology, that was my question about the fire approach and the fire technology. In 2022, the technology of fire, the technology of delivering water has not kept pace with everything else. I have a cell phone that will tell me what lane to get in before I turn right. It's going to tell me that I can save 2 or 3 minutes by taking a different route. It will tell me to the exact minute when I am going to arrive, regardless of whether I accelerate or decelerate my speed. So if that can happen, how in the world can the water districts not maintain enough water for people in their area? It defies logic, my friends. It defies logic. So I'm going to read your comments. I love what M. Schmidt says, where water flows, food grows. And Taya says they are removing up to 4 of our dams. Marcia is calling this a manufactured crisis. And I am of a critical nature. I always dig deeper. I do not accept face value, especially when these items are being pushed in the media. What in the world does an article about water have to do with the cooties updates on the Department of Public Health? That's another thing. Why is it placed there? There was a video out several years ago interviewing people in Venezuela, and this is one of the things that they did to them. Very, very interesting. Truth is unbreakable. Great to have you on board. Says all by design, the evildoers are dumping water. Very, very interesting. I like to look at our current day from many different angles. I look at the media, I look at the weather, I look at these restrictions, I look at the food, I look at transportation, I look at what is being prompted in the headlines. And you know, and I know that the puppet masters want to control all of us. My recommendation, because I don't like to leave you hanging, is to make sure that you are prepared. That's why today's sponsor was Prepare with Peggy. I didn't get to show you, but there's also a water filtration system that they have. I am a prepper. I have a lot of water stored, and I have ways of keeping it sterile. I have those life straws that I can use outdoors if I were caught off guard and I had to drink out of a pond or a stream or something. So get yourself educated, friends. There are so many great videos on YouTube from the professional preppers. I consider myself sort of in the moderate realm. I'm not a newbie, I'm not an amateur, but I'm not a professional. I will be bringing more and more info to you about prepping. I actually have a course online, which is called Panic-Free Prepping. And if you are just getting started, that will give you a great overview. If you've been prepping for years, that you probably know most of the information already. But listen, my lovely, healthy Americans, the reason why being prepared is so important is it gives you peace of mind so that you're not operating in a panic. And I could actually water my plants if needed with the water that I've stored. I will be able to take my showers, to wash my dishes, to prepare food. I am in no way ever advocating that you're wasting the resources, not at all. But what I do advocate is that you educate yourself on these resources that are inexhaustible. We actually don't run out of water. It is water management that is at the issue. We don't run out of food. We don't run out of oil. And dig deeper, they will tell you that it comes from fossils. Well, that bears a little deeper digging. There are these resources that God created in the earth for us to manage, but they are inexhaustible. So when the hogwashers, and there are people right now that are going to be in a panic that their water is going to be turned off if they live in that area, that the food is not going to be growing. Grow your own garden, get your own water, maybe even grow food inside if you're concerned about what they're spraying in the air. There's always another way. When you are prepared, you can live with greater confidence and ease. You can reduce the anxiety. You're not as dependent on the puppet masters, and it's extremely important for you to get in with others. So right here, I love that our healthy Americans are taking some of the conversations offline. I've seen people say, follow me on Facebook or Instagram, and I hope that you do follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And then they're giving direct messages to each other, and they're connecting offline in their communities. That is what we need to do. You don't want to go it alone. My 3 pillars at the Healthy American are connection, education, and action. And that is what I strive to do for you every day here at the Healthy American. We're connecting in our Healthy American community. And I so love and appreciate all of you, your comments, your perspectives, your ideas, your encouragement, and just your participation and helping educate. That's number 2. Many of you have been in the freedom world for many years. You have been down the rabbit hole. You have been exposing the evildoers, as I have for some time. And it's great to share that information. I did a video yesterday about sudden adult death syndrome. And then I just offhandedly mentioned SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. And I said, of course, we know what the real cause is of that. And so many people in the comments said, I don't know what it is. Like, wow, that's astonishing to me that in this day and age, people are not putting two and two together. And I applaud you all for asking the questions. What is the cause? What could it be? There are things that I cannot say out loud on this channel. So I rely on you in your comments to encourage and educate. And then number 3 is taking action. I hope that you voted yesterday. The votes didn't go the way that I wanted them to, but that's only one part of the picture. And I agree with you. There are the puppet masters in charge and they're selecting who they want, but it is still important for me to take action. I did a whole video about that, why I vote, and I hope you'll watch it because it's not about electing someone. I have a whole different reason for making that video, and it is about taking action and standing strong in dignity and integrity. I have not had a chance yet this week to talk too much about religious exemptions and what's going on in the workplace, so stay tuned with me tomorrow, and I'll be covering more of Peggy to the rescue, some of the how-tos, how to get your medical care without discrimination. Travel is a big one. And of course, I always like to bring you the breaking news. I'm going to wrap up for now, friends. Make sure that you have enough water, enough food, and get yourself prepared so you can live and render these hogwashers insignificant. So great to have you on board. I love it. You guys are answering the questions, and bring a friend. I will see you tomorrow in the very next broadcast. And if you want positive encouragement during these stormy seas of life, I am over at my other channel, and that is Living Swell. Let me just take you there. It's a lot of fun. That is my Living Swell channel, and we have a lot of fun in the mornings, and those videos currently are running ad-free. So we get right into the heart of the matter. And oh, look, I have the same, this was my earlier broadcast from today. So we talk about what is your purpose, how to be enthusiastic, how to make decisions, how to reduce anxiety, all of this, clearing, letting go, boundaries, compassion, choosing your thoughts, doesn't matter what others think. I love the Healthy American community over at the Living Swell channel. That is my, I don't call it the backup channel, that is my second channel, so that if they ever do take this channel down, I'll see you over there. So that's at 11 a.m. We have a lot of fun with our encouragement community. And I love, love, love my Healthy Americans here in my afternoon shows. I'll see you tomorrow starting at 5 p.m. for a couple of live streams. Who knows? I might do 2 or 3. Sometimes I get on a roll. There is so much to cover. If you would like to send me your ideas for videos, you can email support@thehealthyamerican.org. And I look forward to seeing you over at thehealthyamerican.org and right here on this channel and all social media.